If you're looking for professional day trading education and high level trade analysis and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to give you exactly that professional day trading education, all right here for free on YouTube and on X. And today was Friday. We're going to go over a few trades that I took. Working with my live trading members. That's where I day trade live alongside with them. And it's not a normal live trading type of course or program. This is more designed to put them into situations that they normally wouldn't get themselves into, where it's going to get them over these hurdles, emotional hurdles, trading technical hurdles, fundamentals, all of that. And that's what we do. So that's what I did here today. Give me a sec. I'm going to load up the charts and let's rock and roll. I hope you all had a great day. I know I certainly did. Busy day, but a good day. Now it is the weekend. Okay, folks, so now that we're in the charts, let's go over the trades, and then we're going to have a little conversation about day trading tight ranges. So the very first trade that we took here was Q's long. Now, I didn't want the short necessarily on any of these because we opened up very close into the previous close. So what I was looking for instead, and it ended up doing it a little bit later on here, but because there's no distance, it opened up and I was looking for a pullback on SPY for the remount of the previous close, or here on Q's, a push and pullback for the remount of the previous close, but it didn't do that. It opened up and dipped into support. So a very standard traditional like type of day trade, technical analysis 101, executed the trade. And because, again, I'm working with my live traders, I'm trying to get them to pay themselves into technical resistance or support targets. And that's what we did. So entered, paid ourselves, trade was done. So keep in mind, this is the beginning of the program and we're using very small size, not only because it's the beginning of the program, but because of the nature of the market where these candles look like normal candles, but they're not. They're like 1.5 points to 2 points per candle. That's a lot. It's a real wide range, and it makes it difficult in order to calculate risk, as well as the price of the premium elevates that risk as well. So we're always thinking about risk as day traders. This is what I'm trying to convey to my traders as well. So locked in $332 on small size on that. So very happy with the trade, how it was executed, how it was traded, the whole nine. So now let's move on. Yeah. So next trade was Q short. And this one was a real quick one. So market opens up, it dips down, we go long, then it pops up, and then we execute the short. So basically, it's the inverse of the first trade we took. Now, because I have distance into that level, sure, granted, it's not a big trade. But what I'm trying to get traders to understand is just trade what is in front of you, not what you think it's going to do. If you think it's going to do something, you're doing this wrong. We need to respond to strategy. And as technical traders, technicians, we are looking to short resistance and long support, period, full stop. That's what we're looking to do. And if it meets the criteria of that, you need to execute that trade. And the criteria is, do you have speed? Do you have distance? Do you have a valid support or resistance level? If all of those three boxes get checked, execute the trade, accept the risk. That's it. And obviously, you need to implement our stop strategy and risk strategy on top of that, but that gets you into the trade. So executed the trade here, paid ourselves on the way back down into support, stopped out the rest. Easy peasy. Locked in an additional $840 on that. And then SPY. So SPY was actually a really nice one. And I want to talk about a question that was brought up. And this is probably even a better conversation to have with all of you guys, because I think you'd get a lot out of it other than talking about trading tight ranges. We can still do that, but I think what I'm going to talk about here about the question that was asked is even better. So what happened here was SPY rips over and it pulls back to remount the previous close. As it comes down into this level, I execute. It pops up. You can't really see it here, but it pops up. I pay myself. So I'm still holding some. As it sells off a little bit, it doesn't look like much, but that's 1 point. That comes into a risk tolerance area. So that's where I'm going to add. And then as it pops up, I pay myself on the first push, pay myself, it pulls back again to remount. And normally I wouldn't add, and I'll talk about the question that was asked. And that's why I entered. I entered to kind of prove the point or make what I was talking about more valid, or I guess a better way of putting it. So entered in again here, paid myself on the push, stopped out the rest. That was it. Easy peasy type of trade, locking in an additional $194 on that. So now let's talk about the question that was asked and brought up. So one of my live trading members asked on this trade, on this where my cursor is, he asked, what gave you the confidence in order to add as it was breaking that level? So this can be a little difficult to convey sometimes, these thoughts and these ideas, because it's not confidence. Like the way he's using the word confidence and the way I'm going to use confidence are two different things. So the way he's looking at it is from a trade having to work perspective. He's asking, essentially, if you break down what he's asking, what made you think that that trade was going to work? Well, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. When I enter into a trade, and you enter into a trade for that matter, we enter into an agreement with ourselves, a contract with ourselves, that we are going to work this trade fully and completely until either it works or we get stopped out. You have to be all in on these trades, not size-wise, just commitment-wise, okay? So how he's talking about confident, why are you confident to add in? He's saying, like, basically, why were you confident thinking that this was going to work? Why were you so confident that this trade was going to work? Well, I wasn't. That's not what I was doing here. I'm entering into a trade that meets my criteria, and I have the confidence in my capabilities as a trader, as well as my ability to follow a trade plan. I will manage this trade no matter what it throws at me, right? That's where my confidence comes in. My confidence to add in comes into my ability as a trader. I am confident in my ability to either stop out if I have to, even though I added, or pay myself in the trade. It's the same word, but it's being used differently. This is where there needs to be a mentality shift with new and struggling traders. It's why you're struggling. You're struggling because you're not looking at things correctly. You're looking at things from it needs to work, or a good trade equals a green trade and a bad trade equals a red trade. And that's not true. We never know if these trades are going to work with 100% certainty. Of course not. If we did, we would load the boat. I would throw my entire net worth into every single trade if I knew it was going to work. So when people say that shit, you need to get away from them. When they say things like, oh, I knew it was going to work. No, motherfucker. It fit your strategy, therefore you entered. There's a big difference. And this is why I talk about, it's very easy for me because I've been doing this long professionally, right? Like consistently and having success at this. I'm a professional. I consider myself a professional. I can look or even listen to a trader that is out there and I'll know where their skill set is. I'll know whether they are actually a legitimate professional trader like they're claiming to be, or if they are faking it. Now, I'm not talking about the member that brought up this question. He's not claiming to be a professional. He's learning, right? And that's my job as a coach, is to tweak and shift the mentality. The way people think needs to be tweaked and shifted. And I know having these conversations on YouTube, on this channel, it goes over a lot of people's heads. And I'll always get comments in the comment section where these people don't get it because they're not looking at this from a professional standpoint. They're not. They think they are, but they're gamblers. I'm not a gambler, not even close. I do everything by the book. That's another reason why I have the confidence in order to add. That is my adding strategy. That is how I manage my position. I don't deviate from my plans. I follow. I cannot stress that enough. When I'm in a trade, I follow the rules to a T. I don't deviate due to emotion. I don't deviate due to anything. Now, I'm not saying I can't switch gears while I'm in a trade. I absolutely can. I'm like water, man. I can flow with it. But I'll never break my strategy, and I'll never break risk, and I'll never break certain rules. It'll never happen. You'll never see me do it. And that's one of the reasons why I think when new people come to this channel, they see things that look very different, or they just don't get it because there's not, and I know it's going to sound like I'm an asshole here and I'm a jerk off for saying what I'm saying, but there aren't a lot of traders like me out there on YouTube. There isn't. These are YouTubers. They're content creators. They're in it to be a part of the circus. I'm not. I'm here to give you guys the legitimate information that you need. You need this. This is what you need to do. And it has nothing to do with difference of strategy or anything else like that. There is certain criteria and certain rules that you have to fucking follow or you will fail. And anyone that claims that they're doing this for X amount of years and they're not following these rules, they are full of shit, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't me bashing people. I haven't used any names. I haven't given you any names. I'm not going to. I can name off a fucking dozen of them. The sad reality is what you see on YouTube with these guys and girls out there, they are full of shit. The way that they look at trading and they talk about trading and the trades that they take are stuff, the trades that my members know. They know not to do that shit within the first month of working with me. That's the level of coaching that they're receiving, and the results show. They actually have legitimate consistency, not roller coaster bullshit, right? And I know it sounds like I'm going off on a rant. I'm just trying to convey to you that things need to be done a certain way. And I know when I speak like this, it can turn people off. People think that I'm up on a high horse or my ego is out of control. This isn't ego. This is just straight up facts, guys. This is how it is. And it's like I'm trying to shout this shit from the rooftop and people don't want to listen. And it's like, that's fine. You don't have to fucking listen. It's no sweat off my sack, man. I'm here. I'm living the life 1% of people on the planet get to live. So I'm good. But that's why I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this so then you guys all make it. I want you guys to make it more than you probably want to make it. And that might be a bold statement, but if you only fucking knew, man. Why? Because I am living that life and I know how amazing it is. Like I wouldn't trade my life for the world. Someone could offer me $100 million mansion in fucking the Hollywood Hills to live in for free, but I have to live there. No, wouldn't take it. And that's not me bullshit. And that's like fucking, it would never happen. I would never trade what I have here. The way I live is just like, fuck, man, it's amazing. That's what I want for you. I'm not saying you have to live down here on the Guanacaste coast of Costa Rica, which is a fucking blue zone, which is fucking amazing. I'm not saying you have to do that. I want you to find your own slice of heaven and your own slice of freedom. That's what I want because I know it's doable, but it does need to be done a certain way. And I know it can come off like there's a million different ways to do this, but there isn't. There's one way to do it. The rule set anyways. There's one way to do it. Okay, guys. if you want to actually become a professional trader legitimately and work with a coach that gives a shit, come to tricktrades.com. Sign up. We'll see you Monday. If not, all good. For those of you that want to continue enjoying my free content, fill your boots. That's why it's here, man. But you do have to like and you have to subscribe. This is a two-way street. I give you content. You have to subscribe. You can't just watch in the shadows. There's 50% of you guys that are takers. And I think you're better than that. I know you're better than that. So you got to hit that subscribe button, guys. Adios. Enjoy your weekend.